কথা বলতে হবে। শুরু করে দিব। Dear students, I hope all of you are well by the grace of the Almighty Allah. Because of the present situation of the world, our academic activities are greatly hampered. So, according to the direction of the government, our college is taking online classes on regular basis. As part of that activity, today I am going to take class on transformation of sentence. In my last two video classes, I discussed on the roles of transformation of sentences. Today, I am going through some exercises. I think that if you are accustomed with the roles that I delivered in my previous classes, then it will be easy for you to understand all the examples given here. So let's start. The first exercise. The Taj Mahal, the unique, is the seventh wonder of the world. It was 300 years ago since Emperor Shah Jahan built the Taj. Simple. If you want to make it a simple sentence, you will have to remove since. So we can say 300 years ago Emperor Shah Jahan built the Taj. Number 2, as he loved his wife Mumtaz very much, he built it as a tomb of his dear wife. We know if we want to make a sentence compound, then we need to use and so, but, therefore. So we can say here, he loved his wife Mumtaz very much, and so he built it as a tomb of his dear wife. C number, the building was made with fine white marbles. Active. Here we find that the object is not clear here. So we have to bring object from outside, meaningful object. We can say the craftsman made the building with white marbles. It rests on a platform of red stone, therefore it looks very nice. Complex. We can use here since or as. So we can say, as it rests on a platform of red stone, it looks very nice. The Taj Mahal is one of the most beautiful buildings in the world. Positive. One of the. If you get one of the, then to make it positive, you need few or very few. So we can say very few buildings in the world are as beautiful as the Taj Mahal. Let's go to the second number. Cricket is very exciting game, very exciting. If we want to use, if we want to transform it into exclamatory, then we must remove a very. Here we will use what a, because it is known to all of us. If we get a very, we need to use what a or what n. So we can say, what an exciting game cricket is. People of all ages enjoy this game. Passive. Here the object is this game. So to make it passive, we have to take this object as subject. We can say this game is enjoyed by people of all ages. At present, cricket is one of the most popular games in our country. At present, cricket is one of the most. Here we can use that at present cricket is more popular. Cricket is popular than most of the games in our country. At present, cricket is more popular than most of the games in our country. Though cricket is a very costly game, people of all classes get a great deal of delight playing and witnessing it. Here we have found though. If we find though, to make it simple, we need in spite of or despite. And for auxiliary verb, we will have to use being. So we can say, in spite of being a very costly game, people of all classes get a great deal of delight playing and witnessing it. Bangladesh is a test playing country, but its standard is not high. Complex. Here we have found but. If we get but, then we must use though or although. So we can say, though Bangladesh is a test playing country, its standard is not high. Then come to number 3. The first one is the Chinese put a lot of emphasis on the unity, passive. Here we have found on the unity, on a preposition. So on the unity will not be touched by us. Here the object is a lot of emphasis. So we can say a lot of emphasis is put on the unity by the Chinese. The parks are crowded. Make it negative. To make it negative, we need the opposite word of crowded. So we can say the parks are not desolate. There are lots of clean parks in the cities. Compound. We can say there are lots of parks in the cities and they are clean. In the evening, many families watch television and spend their free time. Simple. To make it simple, we can say watching television. In the evening, many families spend their free time. Watching television in the evening, many families spend their free time. Life becomes dull without recreation. Complex. Without. If we get without, then we must use if plus subject plus not. So we can say life becomes dull if it has no recreation. Then come to number 4. Jim and Della sacrificed their dearest possessions in order to buy Christmas presents for each other. Make it compound. To make it compound, we will have to use and or and so. Then we can say Jim and Della sacrificed their dearest possessions and bought Christmas presents for each other. Della had an ardent desire to give her husband a worthy gift. Make it complex. We can say Della had an ardent desire, which was to give her husband a worthy gift. We also can use another form. Della had an ardent desire to give her husband a gift which was worthy. Number C. Jim also thought how he could give his wife a nice gift. Simple. To make it simple, we can use Jim also thought of giving his wife a nice gift. Della saved a scanty amount of money for this. Here the object is a scanty amount of money. So to make it passive, we can say a scanty amount of money was saved by Della for this. Jim was one of the sincerest husbands that we have ever known. One of the. So we will bring very few or few. Then we can say very few husbands we have ever seen were as sincere as Jim. Then come to number 5. Number A. An honest man is honored everywhere by all. Active. Here the object is all. So we can say all honor an honest man everywhere. He is not only a teacher but also a singer. Simple. Not only but also. If we get not only but also, then we can use both and to make it simple. He is not only a teacher but also a singer. So we can say he is not only a teacher. In place of not only, we will use both. Then the answer is he is both a teacher and a singer. Though we are improving very fast, we have to work hard for the country. Though. Here for though we will use but. Then we can say we are improving very fast but we have to work hard for the country. Very few cricket teams in the world are as unpredictable as Pakistan. Superlative. Then we can say Pakistan is one of the most unpredictable cricket teams in the world, because for very few, mostly we will have to bring one of the. My friend came to me to get help from us. To get help. Infinitive. So mostly we will have to use so that. then we will have to think the first part of the sentence is of past indefinite tense. So after using so that, we will have to use could or might. My friend came to me so that he got help from us. Then number 6, most of the people of our country are living in the rural areas. Interrogative. Most of the people of our country are living in the rural areas. Look, here we have found are, an auxiliary verb, so we can bring it in front of the sentence to make it interrogative. Then we can say, aren't most of the people of our country living in the rural areas? Because if you not make it negative interrogative, then it will lose its meaning. Then mostly you will have to use negative interrogative form. They are peace loving. Complex. We can say here, it is they who are peace loving. They are patriotic and industrious. They are more patriotic and industrious. Make it positive. Then we can say, no other person is as patriotic and industrious as they. They love their motherland profoundly. Passive. To make it passive, we can say, their motherland is loved profoundly by them. Although they are insolvent, they do not adopt any unfair means to become rich overnight. Simple. Although, you must use in spite of or despite, and then you will have to change the subject. It will be transformed into possessive form, and for are we will use being. Then we can say, in spite of their being insolvent, they do not adopt any unfair means to become rich overnight. Number 7, long ago there was a king who was very wise. To make it simple, we can say, long ago there was a very wise king. Number B, people called him wise Solomon. Passive. People called him. To make it passive, we may omit people. So we can say, he was called wise Solomon. Actually, at that time, he was the wisest of all. Comparative. Actually, at that time, he was wiser than any other person. There was another ruler who named Queen of Sheba. Compound. We can say, there was another ruler and her name was Queen of Sheba. Or there was another ruler and she was named Queen of Sheba. One day she thought Solomon's wisdom should not remain untested. To make it affirmative, we should remove not. One day she thought Solomon's wisdom should be tested. Then come to number 8. The first one is, anger is nothing but a vice. To make it interrogative, what can we say? We can say, is anger anything but a vice? It begets only the worst. Negative. To make it negative, we can say, it begets nothing but the worst. The first 1, 2 is completed. Number 3. So we should control it for our own sake. Passive. To make it passive, we can say, it should be controlled by us for our own sake. He who is taken by anger causes a lot of troubles. Simple. To make it simple, the first part of the sentence will be changed. We can say, taken by anger, he causes a lot of troubles. Realizing it, we should try to be emotionally balanced. Compound. Then we can say, we should realize it and try to be emotionally balanced. Then come to the next number. Frugality is a good habit. A man who is frugal does not like to spend money without reasons. Make it simple. To make it simple, we can say, a frugal man doesn't like to spend money without reasons. The target of a frugal man is to save money for future. Complex. We can say it is the target of a frugal man which is to save money for future. Another way we can say it, the target of a man who is frugal is to save money for future. You can use any one of these two answers. Everyone can practice frugality to make a well-planned family. Passive. We can say to make a well-planned family, frugality can be practiced. You can omit everyone. As a frugal man can save money, he can spend it in time of crisis easily. Now we can say a frugal man can save money and spend it in time of crisis easily. A frugal man is happier than a prodigal man. Positive. To make it positive, we will have to bring the object at the beginning of the sentence. So we can say a prodigal man is not as happy as a frugal man. Then come to the next number 10. Some essential agriculture inputs are to be ensured to increase our food production. Active. Here the object is not clear, so we can use we or the government. We can say we are to ensure some essential agriculture inputs to increase our food production. The farmers who are poor do not get loans on easy terms. Make it simple. To make it simple, we will have to remove who are, and the poor will come between the and farmers. So the answer is the poor farmers do not get loans on easy terms. What a pity. Make it assertive. We can say it is a great pity. The farmers do not get the facilities necessary for food production. Complex. Then we can say the farmers do not get the facilities which are necessary for food production. Unfortunately, they do not get the due price of their products. Compound. Here we can say they do not get the due price of their products, and it is unfortunate. Then come to number 11. Bangladeshi developers can build modern robots like Sophia using its software. The humanoid robot Sophia is one of the newest sensation in the ICT world. Positive. One of the. So we can use few or very few. Then we can say very few sensations in the ICT world are as new as the humanoid robot Sophia. Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina met Sophia at the inaugural ceremony of the 4-day-long Digital World Expo. Here the object is Sophia. So we will not touch from at the to World Expo. It will be totally unchangeable. So we can say Sophia was met by Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at the inaugural ceremony of the 4-day-long Digital World Expo. The Hong Kong-based robotics company developed Sophia. Complex. So we can say it is the Hong Kong-based robotics company which developed Sophia. Wearing a yellow jamdani top and skirt, the robot came on the stage. We can say the robot wore a yellow jamdani top and skirt and came on the stage. What an enthusiasm the robot generated among youth. To make it affirmative, we can say the robot generated a great enthusiasm among the youth. Then come to the next number 12. The first one is, it was 1971 when Bangladesh achieved independence. To make it simple, we will change it was, and in place of these two words we will use in, and we will also remove when. So the answer is in 1971 Bangladesh achieved independence. It is the most significant event in the history of Bangladesh. Comparative. It is the most significant event. To make it comparative, what can we say? It is the most significant event in the history of Bangladesh. Then we can say it is more significant than any other event in the history of Bangladesh. You can also use all other, but then event will be changed into events. Okay? Our freedom fighters sacrificed their lives for the independence of Bangladesh. Make it complex. To make it complex, we can say it is our freedom fighters who sacrificed their lives for the independence of Bangladesh. It was a great struggle for them! Exclamatory. We can say what a struggle it was for them. We shall always remember them with pride. Compound. And we can say we shall always remember them, and it is with pride. Then let's come to the next number 13. We are very much proud of our freedom fighters. They fought for the country with a patriotic zeal. Make it compound. We can say they fought for the country and it was with a patriotic zeal. Or we can say they were patriots and so they fought for the country. Anyone can be used here. They are most courageous sons of our nation. Positive. No other son of our nation is as courageous as they. Everybody admires and respects them greatly. Passive. To make it passive, we can say they are admired and respected greatly by everybody. Nobody denies their contribution to their motherland. Interrogative. To change it into interrogative, we can use who. So we can say who denies their contribution to their motherland. They will never be forgotten by their countrymen to the end. Affirmative. To make it affirmative, we will have to change forgotten, and in place of it we will use remembered. Then we can say they will. Never will be changed into always. So we can say they will always be remembered by their countrymen to the end. Then come to number 14. Very few insects are as busy as the bee. Comparative. To make it comparative, we can say bee is busier than most other insects. It lives together. Negative. It does not live alone. It flies from flower to flower and collects honey. Simple. To make it simple, we will remove it and flies will be changed into flying. Then the answer is flying from flower to flower, it collects honey. It stores honey in the hive. Passive. To make it passive, we will use honey as object because in the hive is not the object. You are informed about the rule that if there is any preposition, then we will not touch that part. So it stores honey in the hive. We can say honey is stored in the hive by it. In winter it remains idle, but it works hard in spring. Complex. To make it complex, we will remove but and use though or although at the beginning of the sentence. In winter it remains idle, but it works hard and in spring. So the answer is though in winter it remains idle, it works hard in spring. Then come to the next number 15. Number A. Tell me your age. Complex. To make it complex, we can say tell me what your age is. Some poets are at least as great as Tennyson. Make it superlative. To make it superlative, we can say Tennyson is not the greatest of all poets. What though the field is lost? Assertive. We can say it matters a little even if the field is lost or the field be lost. My watch was lost. Active. We can say I have lost my watch or I lost my watch. He confessed that he was guilty. Simple. To make it simple, we can say he confessed his guilt. Then come to number 16. Tea is the most popular drink. Comparative. To make it comparative, we can say tea is more popular than any other drink. Tea helps us remove fatigue. Passive. We can say we are helped by tea to remove fatigue. Almost everyone enjoys tea. Negative. We can say there is hardly anyone who does not enjoy tea. Bangladesh is one of the tea producing countries. Compound. To make it compound, we can say many countries produce tea and Bangladesh is one of them. I repeat, many countries produce tea and Bangladesh is one of them. Bangladesh exports tea and earns a lot of foreign exchange. Simple. To make it simple, we can bring export at the beginning of the sentence, and you know it clearly that when the main verb comes at the beginning, then it transforms into ing form. So we can say exporting tea, Bangladesh earns a lot of foreign exchange. Then come to number 17. Beautiful, isn't she? We can say she is beautiful. Tanya nodded in agreement, but she was extremely nervous. Complex. For but, we will use though or although. So we can say, though Tanya nodded in agreement, she was extremely nervous. The tigress was now quite close to them. Interrogative. To make it interrogative, we can bring was at the beginning of the sentence, and we will have to change it into negative interrogative. So we can say, wasn't the tigress now quite close to them? Tanya's heart was pounding, but Tanvir seemed oblivious to any danger. He got closer to the animal and pressed the shutter button with a boyish grin in the face. Simple. To make it simple, we will remove he and got will be changed into getting. We can say getting closer to the animal. He pressed the shutter button with a boyish grin in the face. And it suddenly occurred to Tanya that her husband was the strongest man she had ever met. Positive. To make it positive, we can say no other person she had ever met was as strong as her husband. Then come to the next number 18. There was a famous story about a son's devotion to the mother. Bayezid Bostami, a saint, came to Bangladesh from Bostam of Iran. Make it complex. So we can say Bayezid Bostami, who was a saint, came to Bangladesh from Bostam of Iran. We can also say Bayezid Bostami, who is a saint, came to Bangladesh from Bostam of Iran. One night, his thirsty mother asked him for a glass of water. Passive. To make it passive, we can say one night he was asked by his thirsty mother for a glass of water. As there was no drinking water in the house, he went out to fetch it. Compound. To make it compound, we can say there was no drinking water in the house, and so he went out to fetch it. He came back and he found his mother in deep sleep. Complex. To make it complex, we can say when he came back, he found his mother in deep sleep. He did not call her mother. called her up. He stood beside her bed with a glass of water. He was one of the greatest saints of Islam, one of the positive. So we can say very few saints of Islam were as great as he was. Then come to number 19. First one, A. I went back to work closing the door. Compound. We can say I closed the door and went back to work. At first, the sound of the boy dragging brush annoyed me. Passive. Then we can say at first the sound of the boy dragging brush annoyed me. We can say I was annoyed at first by the sound of the boy dragging brush, or at first I was annoyed by the sound of the boy dragging brush. He began to chop. The blows that he made were rhythmic and steady, simple. To make it simple, we can say the blows made by him were rhythmic and steady. The sound of his blow were rhythmic. Then a constant rain, positive. We can say a constant rain was not as rhythmic as the sound of his blow, because we know that to make it positive, the affirmative sentence will be transformed into negative form. Having forgotten the boy, I went back to sleep. Interrogative. We can say, didn't I go back to sleep having forgotten the boy? The next number and the last one is 20. Number A. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Jasmine. Complex. We can say, once upon a time, there was a girl whose name was Jasmine. Though she was a nice little girl, she was not an ordinary child. Compound. We will use but in place of though. So we can say she was a nice little girl but was not an ordinary child. She passed her time in reading and writing. Interrogative. We have found here she passed, that is to say it is a past indefinite tense. So to make it interrogative, we will have to bring did and make it negative interrogative. We can say, didn't she pass her time in reading and writing? Her parents liked her very much. Negative. Her parents didn't dislike her, but they did not know why she was so different from the other children of the locality. Simple. To make it simple, we can say her difference from the other children of the locality was unknown to them. So students, today I think we have practiced a lot. If you follow the rules and practice more and more, then I think transformation of sentence will be an easy topic to all of you. Best of luck. Thank you very much.